Greetings, Algo artisans. Ethereum's crashing. I'm panicking.
Well, that's great. That's just great, man. Now what the are we supposed to do?
Actually, I'm not panicking too hard. I think Ethereum does have a pretty good future. I do think that perhaps we should talk about what's happening in the near term and the midterm. And that's going to happen in this video called Ethereum's Crashing. Where's the bottom? Now, before we get into it, please like, subscribe, follow, hit that notification bell, all that stuff on YouTube and X. Helps us get you more content. Now, I'm taking a look at Ethereum's price, and 2 weeks of gains were erased after this Bitcoin ETF news. Of course, Ethereum followed that, and then now it's back down to where it was before that happened. And so I'm trying to kind of take a look at what's happening. Why is Ethereum falling harder than Bitcoin? Well, for one thing, it's just not been pacing that well with Bitcoin, but there are some reasons to be bullish on Ethereum, and why is it not pushing price up? Well, for one thing, I did find an article on CoinDesk this morning, and that article is entitled Ether Options Out of Sync with Bullish Sentiment on the Street. So me feeling that it's kind of bullish, right? That's sentiment. Sentiment is feeling. Feeling is emotion. This is what people are thinking is happening with Ethereum, and there are a couple of things that are, a reason to be bullish. There's a couple of reasons why. One of them is the Duncan upgrade, which would potentially reduce fees and increase speed by 90 some odd %, although we'll believe that when we see it. The other one is the talk of an Ethereum ETH possibly coming out, and a lot of people think maybe that might be this year, next few months. Who knows, right? Well, actually, we have an idea of what could have happened, okay? And we talked about that in Algo Factory's private live lab today. So we do have some, just some word from on high as to what some of the smart money thinks as far as that's concerned. And if you're over at algofactory.tech, you can join in on those Thursday drip courses. That's every single day that we go live and have private live labs. But Thursdays oftentimes are pretty special. We get some kind of high-end intel data. We call it the drips. Other than that, what we do have to rely on is this article looking at options data. Now, this came out of, it looks like Amber Data did the analysis, and it said options tied to Ether show bias for price weakness over 3 months with a slight bias for strength in the subsequent months, meaning the following months. So for 3 months, according to this, we got to kind of watch out a little bit. It looks like Ethereum might fall. And what we're going to do is we're going to maybe take a look on the charts as to what that might look like once we review this article a bit. It says here, Ether's 1 week call put skew, a gauge of demand for calls relative to puts expiring in 7 days, fell to nearly -8 on Wednesday, the lowest in over 3 months, indicating a preference for bets that Ether's price will decline. The gauge stayed negative at press time with 1, 2, and 3 month skews exhibiting a negative outlook. Okay, so just so you understand, options are part of where the real players play, right? This is a way to control a large amount of Ethereum with a small amount of, we'll use the term margin, right? Kind of collateral. So the options market is oftentimes a really good place to look at what is going on with an asset. And as a matter of fact, I use a resource called the Kingfisher. We're going to look at that. There's actually a referral code in the description of this video on YouTube, and you can get a discount, I believe, by using that code. So the Kingfisher does a few good things, and we're going to use it right now to take a look at where price might go. I use it mainly for liquidity, but there are so many great tools on there, and part of what the Kingfisher does is it looks at options. I believe it looks at gamma, and this starts to get a little advanced, but when you understand how to read this chart, it can tell you where price wants to go, where it might find some resistance, where the market might trade along with it. And we're not going to get into the options aspect of it, but I just want to describe to you how options are a really good indicator as to what might happen with price. And right now, the options market is saying that for the next 3 months, Ethereum is looking bearish at the moment, according to those who do the high level analysis. So let's go ahead and move over to the charts first, and then we will look at the Kingfisher next. Here's the Ethereum chart, and Ethereum ran up about 2 weeks ago really high, right? Each one of these candlesticks is 1 day's worth of price action. It's actually 18 hours. And so Ethereum made a hard move up here, responding or at least following the Bitcoin ETF. That was a bullish situation, and then there was a sell-off. Bitcoin sold off. I've done a couple of videos recently. You can take a look on the YouTube channel as to why it may be that Bitcoin is selling off, besides the fact that it simply was a sell the news event that I personally predicted numerous times over the past several months. At the same time, there is a technical reason why it might be selling off. Now, it is taking the rest of crypto with it. And according to the article we were just reading, it says that 2150 is an important area. If Ethereum cannot stay above 2150, the chances of it falling are a bit higher, right? If it can stay above 2150, it may simply range up in this area between 2400, say, and 2150. However, I do think there's a good chance that price will fall. Where might it fall to? Well, first, let's take a look at where the liquidity is. We're going to go to the Kingfisher. We're going to select Ethereum. We're going to get a liquidity map. And the lines that you see on here are where people's liquidation points are on the leveraged exchanges. And price tends to go in that direction. Now, there are obviously some above price and there are some below price. So the way that I've been using it in my back testing says the best way to use this data is if the charts favor a move down, then these green lines here are a good place for targets. Price will probably go to this area because that's where the liquidity is. And it's pretty well spread out, although it seems like there's a bit of a gap between, say, 1890 and maybe, say, 1770, 1715. So kind of like the 1700s and then around 1900, right? So I'd say price might go down, gobble all this up, and according to this, the high 1800s might be a place that it stops, or it might roll down through this to like 1700. So let's translate that over to our chart here. We have, I'm going to put a line here at 1890. If I remember correctly, that's the right number. Might have to double check that. Actually, I already have one at about 1870. And this has to do with another metric that I'm using, but that means two of my metrics lined up, and the high 1800s is a very likely place for price to go in the near term. Now, of course, this 17 to 1700 to 1750 is also likely according to that chart. So these lines that are on the chart are already usable. And what I think might be happening, and I don't know how long it's going to take. It could be fast. It might, not be fast. Price could bounce around up here for a minute and then head down. But I think it will probably head down to this 1890, 1880 area. Now, it may do it just how I drew it. It might do it like today. It could happen anytime between now and anytime in the future. I do think, though, we'll probably see it, I'd say sooner rather than later. I'd say February. So, January is really close to being done. It could happen before January, but I think February is a decent timeline for that to happen. So I think that is the look right now. And of course, if price remains bearish at that time in the next few months, it might continue down. It might range here for a while. And a lot of that's going to depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin continues to head down as well, then of course that probably would drag Ethereum down along with. So that is the look on the chart. And look, all of this is pure price action. I really didn't use any algos. I can tell you that the algorithms are bearish as well, so this does line up with that. If you want to know more about this, come over to algofactory.tech. We do have 30 minutes free to the public every day on YouTube. It's a live lab. You can ask me to chart things, explain things, and ask questions, even if you're not members. During that 30 minutes, of course, our private members have priority, but if no one's asking questions, I'll be happy to chart for you. So please join us live. Follow me on X, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those things. And remember, over at Algo Factory, to come over, trade your job, and upgrade your life. See you on the next one. All right, hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. On the screen there, you can see our website, algofactory.tech. Accept that QR code to take you straight there. I'm also very active on X. That's algo_factory777. We got TikTok and Rumble. In the meantime, we hope to see you over at the website. Come on over, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you there.